Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, you might want to grab a pen and some paper right now to keep score, because today we are diving into a fast-paced 15-question gamified trivia challenge. We're going to explore some of the absolute strangest corners of America, from bizarre geography and hidden history to presidential oddities and outdated laws that are somehow still on the books. For each question, I'll give you the options, pause for a quick second to let you guess, and then we'll uncover the incredibly logical or, completely absurd truth behind the answer. Let's see how much you really know about this country.
Okay, let's dive into this. Round 1, Geography and Hidden History. We are starting off by testing your spatial awareness and some forgotten subterranean lore.
Question number 1. Which state is both the easternmost and westernmost in the U.S.? Is it A, Hawaii, B, Alaska, C, Maine, or D, California? Time's up. The answer is Alaska. Now, you might naturally be thinking of Maine for the East Coast, but Alaska holds this crazy title because its Aleutian Islands, which are this long volcanic chain, actually cross the 180th meridian. That imaginary line officially separates the western and eastern hemispheres, making Alaska technically the easternmost state as well as the westernmost. Give yourself a point if you got that one right.
Let's look at question 2. Which U.S. state is geographically closest to Africa? Is it Florida, Texas, Maine, or New York? Take a guess. It's actually Maine. I know, Florida seems so much more logical since it's significantly further south, but because of the Earth's spherical curvature, Quoddy Head in Maine is roughly 800 miles closer to Morocco than Miami is. It's a fantastic reminder that the globe's geometry makes straight lines on flat maps incredibly deceiving.
Question 3. Who sewed the first American flag? Was it Betsy Ross, Abigail Adams, Martha Washington, or is there no historical evidence? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it's a total trap. The correct answer is D. There is absolutely zero historical evidence that Betsy Ross did this. Despite what basically all of us learned in grade school, it's a myth. The story was actually popularized by her own grandson a whole century later in the 1870s.
Moving to question 4. Beneath which location is there a 9-acre secret city where trash moves at 60 miles per hour? Area 51, Disney World, the Pentagon, or Subtropolis? It is Disney World. If you've been to the Magic Kingdom, you might actually know this. The park is built right on top of a massive network of what they call utilidors. Down below, costumed characters like Snow White eat lunch in a hidden cafeteria literally called the Mouse Suteria, while trash is vacuumed through pneumatic tubes at 60 miles per hour right beneath your feet.
Question 5. Why did Seattle build a new city directly on top of its old one in 1889? Was it A, floods, B, fire, C, a plague, or D, exploding toilets? It was fire. After a devastating 1889 fire wiped out 25 city blocks, Seattle just decided to raise the streets and build a brand new city right on top of the old ground floor. But actually, exploding toilets from high tides backing up the sewer lines into ground floor bathrooms, that was a massive, very real problem in the old underground city before the fire hit.
All right, tally up your scores from round 1. Let's jump right into round 2, the presidential oddities, focusing on the absolutely bizarre habits of America's commanders-in-chief. Question 6. Which U.S. president worked as a male model for Cosmopolitan magazine? Was it JFK, Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford, or Bill Clinton? The answer is Gerald Ford. Yes, way before he took the Oval Office, Ford, who was actually born Leslie Lynch King Jr., had a very handsome stint as a male model. He graced the pages of Cosmo in the 1940s alongside his future wife. Question 7. Which president was arrested and fined $20 for speeding on a horse? Ulysses S. Grant, Andrew Jackson, Teddy Roosevelt, or Franklin Pierce? So, the crucial point is that nobody is above the law. The answer is Ulysses S. Grant. He was actually pulled over by a police officer in Washington, D.C. and handed a $20 fine for exceeding the local speed limit on horseback while taking a joyride through the Capitol. Question 8. Which president invented a sport played with a heavy medicine ball? Teddy Roosevelt, Herbert Hoover, Abraham Lincoln, or William Howard Taft? It's Herbert Hoover. He and his personal doctor actually invented a game they dubbed Hoover Ball to help the president stay fit. It was this totally exhausting, terrifying cross between volleyball, tennis, and dodgeball, played by hurling a solid heavy medicine ball back and forth over a net. Question 9. What were George Washington's dentures actually made of? A, wood, B, porcelain, C, human, cow, and horse teeth, or D, solid gold?
We are busting a massive myth here. The answer is C. They were definitely not made of wood. His famously uncomfortable dentures were a really complex combination of human materials, metal alloys, and animal teeth harvested from cows and horses.
Closing out the round, which two former presidents died on exactly the same day, July 4th, 1826? Washington and Adams, Adams and Jefferson, Jefferson and Madison, or Madison and Monroe? It was John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. In an incredibly eerie twist of historical fate, both men passed away within hours of each other on the exact 50th anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence.
Huge congratulations on surviving the presidential round. Let's transition into our final and definitely most absurd section. Round 3, bizarre and outdated laws. These are real, unrepealed laws still on the books today.
Question 11. In Arizona, it is illegal to let what animal sleep in a bathtub after 7 p.m.? An alligator, a donkey, a pig, or an iguana? It is a donkey. This is a highly specific law created back in the 1920s. A local farmer used to let his donkey sleep in an abandoned bathtub. Well, a flood hit the town, literally swept the sleeping donkey away in the tub, and the town had to spend all these resources rescuing it. They drafted a ban to stop it from happening again and just never got around to repealing it.
Question 12. In Minnesota, it is illegal to cross state lines with what specific item on your head? Is it A, a duck, B, a wheel of cheese, C, a boot, or D, a lit candle? Believe it or not, it's a duck. You cannot legally cross the Minnesota state border with a duck balanced on your head. The origins of this utterly bizarre statute remain entirely murky, but it is technically still the law of the land.
Question 13. In North Dakota, bars are legally prohibited from serving what two items together? Whiskey and peanuts, beer and pretzels, wine and cheese, or vodka and pickles? It's beer and pretzels. Serving beer and pretzels at the exact same time is technically a violation of an outdated blue law that lawmakers simply never got around to repealing.
Question 14. Where is it strictly illegal to sleep in Pennsylvania? Under a bridge, in a bathtub, on an outdoor refrigerator, or in a parked carriage? The correct answer is on an outdoor refrigerator. Now, if you want to drag that refrigerator inside and take a nap on top of it indoors, you are perfectly within your legal rights. But doing it out in your yard, that technically makes you a criminal.
Final trivia question. Let's see if you can get this one. In Florida, what is illegal to do in a public place while wearing a swimsuit? Eat ice cream, sing, whistle, or dance? The answer is sing. And this brilliantly illustrates our point today. Old laws simply linger indefinitely unless they are actively struck down by someone who cares enough to do the paperwork.
All right, let's tally up those final scores out of 15. How did you do? Whether you aced it or missed a few, what we've seen today is that history, geography, and legal systems are messy, completely human creations. They change, they contradict themselves, and sometimes they just leave a really weird footprint behind. Which leaves us with a totally fascinating question to ponder. Out of everything we consider completely normal today, what accepted facts and daily habits will eventually become the bizarre trivia questions of tomorrow? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning what you know.